Hi everyone, I'm Cedar Iris. Today I would like to share about my knits and my finished object in 2023. And so I started to knit in 2020 or 2021, around these years. And then I just cannot stop, so I continue to knit and knit and knit, and I finished a lot of objects in 2023, so I would like to share about them. Yeah, and since there's a lot of finished object, so I will start with the sweaters I knitted, and then the shawls or other accessories that I also knitted. So yeah, I'm not so sure how this video will turn out, or like how long it will turn out, so I may divide them into two sections, but maybe it's just one video. So anyways, I would start with my sweaters. Yes, and then except for like what pattern I made, I will also share about like the fibers or like modification I did and so on. Yeah, so the first one is a warm and cozy knit. This one, you see? Okay, so this is LOKI raglan by Liv Ulven from Woolen Knits. So this is a raglan knitted from down, like bottom up knitted. So we start like from the sleeves and then from the body, and then you join them in from here and create the raglan here. So, and it's a bit oversized, and I think I knit one size extra, so this is size 4. I knitted one size bigger than my size, so I can have extra oversized fit. And except for that, I also lengthened my body, so I knitted a little bit longer than the pattern calls for, and I knitted to the length I wanted and joined the raglan. So this was a bit longer than the pattern calls for. And yeah, the yarn is Nutiden yarn. So it's a Swedish wool, unspun wool, and it's really popular among the knitting community, I guess. So I had a few plates. I bought a few plates to have a try, and it's really interesting outcome. Like you see the like rusty texture. Yeah, that's what will happen with unspun yarn, and then it's really cozy in like cold winter like we have here now. But okay, because I used to live in a pretty tropical climate, and now I live in a cold area, so this is useful here when I'm living in a cold winter, like snowing or so. This is really suitable, but during the time I live in tropical areas, it's really like itchy a lot for me. So it's a bit rustic and itchy, but overall it's yeah, it's really warm and cozy. I wear this especially often at home when I'm like not going out at all, so I have this and pretty cozy. Yeah. And one thing why I'm wearing this mostly at home, because there's one thing with this unspun yarn. The unspun yarn, the elasticity, yeah, it's not that strong as merino wool, I guess, or like some other superwash. So when I knitted this color, it tends to stretch out a little bit. So yeah, it's a bit hard to keep it in the shape. You see the ribbings. It's hard to have it doesn't bounce back that much, so it creates a bigger color. Which is not that big deal for me, but I wouldn't wear this so often outdoors. And it's a bit more like cozy wear, so when I'm like going to school or something, or like events, I wouldn't really wear this. But it's still like one of my most worn sweater because it's so cozy. You can see that it started peeling on the sleeves. Yeah, so this is the first one. Next pattern I would like to share is the Haze sweater. This is a free pattern by the Knit Purl girl, and it's a color work, you can see from it. yeah, I really like this pattern. It's so simple yet like interesting and elegant. Yeah, you can see it's really like non-complex, but it's so beautiful. Like sometimes I believe like simplicity is like it gives, yeah, it's like a classic elegant sweater design. So for this I made size, I guess size 2 or size 3, I forgot, but anyways it's around that range. So the original pattern called for Istex lettlopi. So yeah, the blue parts, the blue, purple, pink part is, yeah, it's lettlopi because I love the color. It's Milky Way or something. The colorway is Milky Way or something. It's the same as the original version, but for the white yarn, the main color, I used Sandnes Garn's Gynt. Yes, it's Gynt from Sandnes Garn. So yeah, it only have the Icelandic wool in the colorwork section, but not the other part. Yet still, I think Gynt is the same weight, but it's not that rusty or not that long fiber will stick out, but it's still Norwegian wool and is a warm and untreated yarn. And two things special about this, or like 2 modifications I made. First one is the sleeves. I made some extra color work here around the sleeves, you can see here. Yeah, the reason I did that is because I have some contrast color left, so I don't want to waste the yarn, like there's so little left, so I don't want to waste it, and I just made some, I just improvised some small color work. It's just some, yeah, simple things. Okay, and the second modification is, I think I made it a little bit more cropped. So it's a bit more cropped than what the pattern calls for. And this is a common modification when I'm knitting sweaters, because for my personal taste and my body shape, either it looks better either in a crop sweater or in a like really long oversized sweater. So I should my waist should be, this curve should be shown, or I should cover totally up my hips and like my thigh. So this one is a little bit cropped. Yep. And I really love it. I really love it. It's so beautiful. So this one is the second. I don't know, I'm just randomly speaking. Let's go to the third. The third sweater is Salty Day sweater. Here, you can see it. Yeah, so this sweater is by Kutovakika, a Finnish designer. Yeah, I have followed her videos for years, even before she started to do knitting videos. And it's so, I love to see that she started to design so many knits, and it's so, yeah, I love to see that it's able to knit her design. And like, yeah, she has so many designs that both is like more simple, more is like classic style, like timeless styles, as well as some really interesting or like colorful knits. So it's really interesting to start in it. And this one is like, I think is a more like complex, or it looks complex, but it is not as difficult as it seems. It's just some section repeats, and yeah, I think it's really fun to knit this because there are so many different sections. So when you start to knit one part, you would like to like finish that part and then go on to the next, and you don't get tired because every section is like small part. So once you have finished this one, and then you have something new. So your brain will refresh, you will have something new to knit, and you just continue to knit on this part, that part, this part, and so on. So yeah, it's a really fun and interesting knit. And I like the structure as well, like the shoulder structure. Yeah. But the thing is that for the yarn I chose for this pattern, I am a little bit... yeah, it's definitely not my favorite yarn, I would say. So I used a Drops Nepal. It's a worsted alpaca. Yeah, worsted weight alpaca yarn. I think 50 alpaca and 50 wool was that. I saw them in the shop and I did have a touch and so on, and it feels really soft in balls. But when I knit it up, I don't know, it feels a bit heavy for me. Like the whole sweater took me 11 balls, even though it's really affordable price, but it took me 11 balls or something, and which is, or 12 or maybe more, but it was like over 500 grams. The total weight is over 500 grams, so it is a bit heavy. And you see that it's, yeah, it's heavy, and this doesn't have a like the best drape, I guess. So yeah, and one thing is that when I first made, I feel like I didn't reach the length that I like. So I would like to modify it, but the second time I washed it, it shrank a little bit, or I don't know, it was going to a smaller size, and then it doesn't feel like it is good to lengthen it again. So I'm still like unsure about if I should lengthen it or not. I don't know, because it's like now it's in I don't know. Yeah, I don't really, this is definitely not my favorite length, and but the width of this sweater doesn't seem to be good to lengthen it so much, so I'm still unsure. But this one is still like super warm and cozy as well. If I'm at home, I would wear it, but I doesn't wear it so often, I would say. Yes, because I'm still in the questioning phase of this length of this sweater. So this is mostly a home worn, but the pattern is really good and nice. I think it's really beautiful and interesting pattern. So for the next sweater, let's go to a lighter weight sweater. So this one, sorry, it's a bit wrinkly as well. I didn't fold it well in my wardrobe. Anyways, this sweater is Faie sweater by Emily Lynn. Yeah, Emily Lynn, and it is able to find it on Expression Fiber Art. Expression Fiber Art. So this is also a bottom-up sweater. Okay, so most sweaters that I didn't mention is top down, and only a few that I knitted is from bottom up. So this one is a bottom up sweater. So you knit from the bottom, okay, and then do the lace work, blah blah blah, and then yeah. So you did this 3 needle bind off here on the shoulder, and then you pick up stitches from this armhole and continue to knit the sleeves. Okay, I would say this sleeve is really like gorgeous. You see the texture? It's like moss stitch and then some lace work. See? It's so beautiful. I love this sweater. When I first saw this pattern, I was like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. And I'm really like a lace person. Okay, there's different phase for my knitting. In the beginning, I'm more like a lace knitting person, and then later on, like a few months ago, I was really into color work. So it's a bit funny, like yeah, I have some colorful color work sweater, and I also have some like lace work sweater. And you see like the front pattern, it's so beautiful. See it? It's so beautiful. And then the back as well, there's some motif here. This sweater is really beautiful, and I knitted this in size 2. Yeah, I knitted this in size 2. So it is right like really, so it is like really fitted to my, like a fitted size for me. Yeah. And I also have some pictures on my Instagram, so if you're interested you can search up or you can go to my Instagram. I have a few photos. I also posted on Ravelry, so yeah, there are also some information. But yeah, that's about the pattern. The yarn for this is from Sewrella Yarn. It's a hand-dyed yarn from US, and it's, I think the colorway is called cashmere. Yeah, it's called cashmere. It's autumn tonals from Sewrella Yarn, and the yarn is fingering weight. But the base itself, I think they don't dye in this base anymore. They have changed their fingering weight yarn to another base. So this base is not available anymore, and the colorway cashmere is usually only during autumn time, and I think they have the winter tonals right now. But anyways, I bought it 2 years ago, and then this sweater took me 1.5 years because I had so many other projects that just, yeah, this just came in queue, like they just bump in here and there, and then I stopped knitting this, and then I started knitting other things. And one thing is that because I have stopped knitting it for like at least like, I paused this project for at least half a year, so my tension changed, my gauge changed. So when I knitted this upper part, it was too tight, totally too tight. So I have to rip it off, frog it, and redo it. And yeah, so it was a lot of frogging, like back and forth with this project. So that's the reason it took me for so long. And then when you need to frog something, you get a bit tired, then you will like put it aside and do other things. So this project, even though I really like the design and it's really turned out so beautiful, but process, maybe it's my own problem, but the process took really longer than I expected. Yeah, but one thing, since it's so beautiful, I am actually planning to knit another one in size 3, one size larger, because I think this sweater, this size is a bit too fitted for my personal taste, and I really want to knit one in size 3 and in a dark blue, maybe similar to this sweater I'm having, or like maybe more royal blue color. But that's still in my mind. I haven't started anything or like chose the yarn or so, but yeah, I have that in my mind. So maybe in the future you will see a dark blue version of the Faie sweater. Yeah. Okay, so this sweater, it's also in the lighter weight. I think okay, firstly, this sweater was started from choosing the yarn. So one time I saw this tweed yarn in a shop, and it's from Viking garn. They have some alpaca tweed yarn, okay, and it's so beautiful. You see, I cannot resist this kind of blue, light blue color. It's just so gorgeous. And you see like the tweed, it made some speckles, and it's really interesting and beautiful. So this sweater was started from choosing a yarn. I saw the yarn and I was like planning, what should I do with this? And then I was thinking maybe knitting in knitting for a raglan sweater. So yes, I did that. And then I saw Dream Knits. It's a Norwegian pattern website. They have a pattern generator, so you can choose, you can design your own, or like you can generate a pattern of your own preference. So you can choose like first the gauge, like what's the gauge for the yarn you want to use, and then what kind of sweater you want to knit. Like for the color, you can choose to be like a turtleneck, or like just like normal, or yeah, whatever kind of color you want to knit. And you can choose it to be a normal length, a cropped, or like, yeah, something like that. And as well for the sleeves, you can choose like this kind of, yeah, wide sleeves. I don't know how it's called, wide sleeves, or like balloon sleeves, which is my favorite kind of sleeve, but I have too many sweaters in that kind of style. So yeah, or like a normal regular decreased sleeves you can choose. So you choose your preference, and then the gauge, then the website would generate a pattern that is suitable for the yarn you want and the style of sweater you want to knit. So it's pretty interesting, like you can create a pattern using that website. So I made it, I did it. So this is how it turned out. Even though I have it extra cropped, you see it's extra cropped, super cropped. And then I have a bit longer sleeve, I guess. So, and another modification is that the hems for the sleeves and the body, I use the folded hem to create like a more smooth edge rather than stockinette. But for the color I still use, not stockinette, the ribbing, but the color I still used ribbing. Yeah. So it is more like a layer on sweater. So for example, when I'm wearing a dress, or like, yeah, mostly dresses, I will layer on this on top of my dresses. So it's more like layer on piece. Yep. I love this color. I still love this yarn. I'm still in love with this yarn, and I think this blue really suits me. Like it just gorgeous. This one is called Malvarosa sweater. It can also be found on Expression Fiber Art. This is designed by DK. And it's just really interesting, or like, I think it's a timeless, elegant style sweater. So it's like yoke, it's increased in the round. So you can see actually there are some motifs happening. Yeah. And the yarn is also from Expression Fiber Art. It's a DK weight yarn that is, yeah, Dewy DK. This is a Dewy DK yarn. I bought it when it was on sale. So yeah, I really like blue. You already see, like I always have some similar color going on in my wardrobe. So yeah, this is also light blue, and it's a Dewy DK, and yeah, it's really beautiful, I would say. Just timeless, elegant. Yeah, I think that's it. I also knit it in size 2 or size 3. I am not so sure, but also around that range. So yeah, beautiful. The second last one, really now. This one is sweater number 6, my second sweater number 6. I knitted 2, and the first one I knitted in size 2, and I feel like it was a bit, it's not oversized enough for me. So this time I knitted a size 3, and for this pattern, what's special this time I knitted is that I used 2 yarns for marling effect, 2 types of yarn for marling effect. One strand is drop air, drops air, so it's a bit fluffier yarn. It's a blow yarn. Yeah, and the second strand is drops extra fine baby merino or something. Drops baby merino, so it's a superwash merino yarn. So I combine these two together, and then the fabric turned out like this, you can see. Yeah, so that's how it looks like. So my gauge, I guess it's actually a bit off. It's a bit, yeah, it's a bit looser, but for me it's fine since I'm pursuing a super oversized fit for this sweater, so it's not a problem for me. But anyways, yeah, it's called for an Aran weight yarn for this pattern, so it's knitted up really fast. I think the original pattern used some blow yarn, also some thick blow yarn, but I believe that actually you can use a lot of scrap yarn and just marl them, just have them a lot of strands of scrap yarns and then creating that marling effect. I believe it is possible with this pattern, since this pattern is just like it's really like a classic basic pattern and have a cozy feel. So if you really want to, I believe that is possible, that using scrap yarn for this pattern. Yeah, and once again I knitted it a bit longer so it will really cover my hips and so on. Yeah, this is one of my go-to sweater as well. I wear this so often, and this is newly washed because I just wore it for a lot of, like, for 5 days in a row a few weeks ago. Lastly is this sweater that is on me right now. This is Yun sweater, E-U-N, Yun sweater by November Knits. So this is one of my latest finished sweater. Okay, so I really like this sweater. It's like a classic, and then it has a twist on the side that had a front panel and a back panel. You can see the back panel, front panel, and yeah, I think it's really beautiful and elegant. And the 2x2 rib is so beautiful, and the design, you see the raglan. It's a bit dark, but you see the raglan. It's such a, I don't know, this design is so beautiful, so elegant, with this ribbing in between. Yeah, I love this one. This is now currently one of my favorites as well. So I also knitted it a bit longer for the panel. It wasn't that long in the beginning, but it doesn't fit my taste with the original length, so I modified it and I made it longer. And for this sweater I used 2 strands of Sunday from Sandnes Garn and 1 strand from Isager Trio. Yeah, so actually this is knitted in 3 strands. And I think it turned out really good. I got inspired by this from a Taiwanese knitter, and she has a yarn shop in Taiwan as well, and I saw her sharing that she used the original Isager Jensen yarn with 1 strand trio instead of mohair, because Taiwan is so warm. Like Sandnes Garn is easier for me to reach and it's more affordable for me, so I chose Sunday Garn, Sunday from Sandnes Garn. Yeah, and I think it turned out really nice, and I think Sundays is really good. Like Sandnes Garn's yarn, like Gynt, double Sunday, they are all like really good quality and yet affordable in that quality, I guess. So I really like their yarn. It's no sponsor. Everything is bought by myself, but I really like it. So it's a bit squishy, yet it's have a cool feeling because of the trio one, the summer yarn. Yeah, so I look forward to wear this in a warmer climate in the future, but so far I'm really satisfied with this design. So that's the last sweater I knitted in 2023. So that's the video for today, and I talked about the sweater I made in 2023. And hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like, please give a subscribe or a like, or even if you have any thoughts or suggestion comments, please comment down below. I really appreciate that, and hope you have a good day, good evening, good morning, or like even if you're going to sleep, have a good sleep. And yeah, we see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.